Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Akshay Vyas and today we are going to do a complete walkthrough of Databricks, its powerful governance layer called Unity Catalog, and finally we'll deep dive into Databricks Genie with a hands-on demo on the TPCH dataset that comes preloaded in Databricks. By the end of this video, you know what Databricks is, why Unity Catalog matters, and how Genie can help you analyze data just by asking the question in plain English. Let's start with the basics. What is Databricks? To answer that, it helps to look at how we have traditionally handled data. For a long time, organization relied on data warehouse. These are highly structured systems designed for business intelligence and reporting. They work really well for clean tabular data, but they are expensive and not very flexible. They don't handle unstructured data like logs, images, or even streaming events. Then came Data Lake. A data lake is a place where you can dump all your raw data in any format, basically structured tables, JSON files, IoT sensor streams, even videos or images. It's cheap and scalable, but without governance and performance optimizations, data lakes often turn into what's called a data swarm, full of messy and hard to use data. So organizations ended up using both a lake for raw storage and a warehouse for analytics and reporting. That meant duplicating data, moving it around, and managing two systems, which was costly and complex. This is where the Lakehouse architecture comes in. The Lakehouse combines the reliability and performance of a warehouse with the flexibility and scalability of a data lake, all in one platform. And that's exactly what Databricks is, a cloud-based data and AI platform built on the Lakehouse concept. It allows you to unify all your data and analytics and AI workflows in one place. Now, how do people actually use Databricks? First is for the data engineering. This is where raw data from multiple sources is cleaned, transformed, and made ready for analysis. Databricks provides powerful tools and pipelines to make this process fast and reliable. Second, for data science and machine learning. Teams can use Databricks to build, train, and deploy machine learning models at scale. Whether you're predicting customer churn, detecting fraud, or recommending products, Databricks supports the full ML lifecycle. Third is for the business intelligence. Analysts can query the data directly using SQL and create dashboards or visualizations. This allows decision maker to get insights without needing a separate data warehouse. And now, with Genie, Databricks have added a conversational AI-driven analytics. This means even non-technical users can ask questions in plain English and get answers back as queries, charts, or explanation. It makes advanced analytics accessible to a much wider audience. And one of the best things is Databricks is cloud agnostic. It runs on all the major cloud providers, that is AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud. So you don't get logged in into one provider. So in short, Databricks is a unified data and AI platform that solves the problem of traditional warehouse and lakes, and it brings in engineering, science, business intelligence, and AI together in one system. Now that we know what Databricks is, let's look at some of its key features that makes it stand out. The first one is called the Delta Lake. This is an open source storage layer that makes data lakes reliable. Normally, raw data lakes can get messy. You might end up with corrupted files or duplicate records. Delta lakes solve this by adding ACID transactions, the same kind of reliability you get in a database. This means you can do updates, deletes, and merge safely, and your data lake doesn't turn into a data swamp. Next, we have the Unity Catalog. This is the governance and security layer of Databricks. Think of it as the traffic controller for all of your data. With Unity Catalog, you can manage who has access to which tables, columns, or even rows of data. It also stores metadata like ownership, schemas, and lineage, so you always know where your data came from and how it is being used. For large teams, this centralized governance is critical. Then There are the collaborative notebooks. This is one of my favorite features because it allows data engineers, data scientists, and analysts to work together in the same environment. You can write SQL, Python, Scala, or R in the same notebook and even add comments or visualization. It feels like Google Docs, but for data and AI. Everyone can collaborate in real time. Another powerful component is ML flow. If you have ever worked on a machine learning project, you know that tracking experiments and managing models can quickly become chaotic. ML flow standardizes this process. You can log parameters, track results, register models, and deploy them, all within Databricks. It's like project management for machine learning, and it saves teams a huge amount of time. Databricks also provide auto-scaling clusters. Instead of worrying about servers and infrastructure, you can spin up a cluster that scales up when the workloads are heavy and scale down when they are idle. This not only ensures performance, but it also saves money because you only pay for what you use. And finally, there's Genie, the AI assistants we'll be demoing today. Genie allows you to ask questions in plain English and get answers back as queries, visualizations, or explanations. This is a game changer because it opens up analytics to non-technical users while still being powerful enough for analysts and data scientists. So in summary, from reliable data with Delta Lake to secure governance with Unity Catalog, collaboration with notebooks, experiment tracking with MLflow, cost efficiency through auto scaling, and AI-driven analytics with Genie, Databricks brings everything together in one unified platform. Before we look at Genie, let's pause and talk about Unity Catalog because this is really what makes Genie powerful and secure. Think of Unity Catalog as an access control center for all your data and AI assets in Databricks. Without it, you might have data scattered across different workspaces, different formats, and different teams managing access separately. That's not only messy but also risky, especially when dealing with sensitive business or customer data. With Unity Catalog solves this by giving you one unified governance layer. With Unity Catalog, you can manage access and permissions at multiple levels, not just at a table level, but even at a column level, like masking customer name, or row level, like restricting certain geographies. This means you can safely share data without overexposing it. Keep track of the metadata, such as schemas, owners, and data lineage. Data lineage is particularly important. It shows you where the data came from, how it is transformed, and who used it. This makes compliance, auditing, and debugging much easier. Unify governance across clouds and workspaces. Instead of managing access separately in AWS, Azure, or GCP, Unity Catalog becomes your single source of truth for permissions everywhere. Now let's make this concrete with an example from the TPCH dataset that we'll be using for this demo of Databricks Genie. In the TPCH dataset, we have tables like orders, customer, and line item. Without Unity Catalog, an analyst might get direct access to all the three tables, including sensitive information like the customer name. There's no guarantee they only see what they should see. But with Unity Catalog, you can do things like grant analyst A access only to orders table, but mask the customer name so that they can analyze sales data without exposing identities. At the same time, grant data scientist B full access to both the orders and the customer because they need customer level features for training and machine learning model. This ensures the right people see the right data at the right time. It's security and collaboration working hand in hand. And here's the best part. Genie actually uses Unity Catalog's metadata. When you ask Genie a question, it doesn't just guess. It looks at the Unity Catalog to understand which tables exist, what columns they have, and how the tables are related to each other. That's how Genie can confidently join customers, orders, and lifetime together without you spelling it out. Without Unity Catalog, Genie would have far less context and would be much less effective. So to put it simply, Unity Catalog is the foundation that makes the data trustworthy, compliant, and usable. And Genie built on top of that foundation to deliver conversational analytics. Alright, let's get our hands on with the TPCH dataset inside the Databricks. This dataset simulates a retail wholesale business with tables for customer, order, products, and region. It's perfect for demonstrating Genie because it has realistic relationships between the tables. So this is your login screen. Once you log in, you'll be redirected to this page. Here on the left hand side, you have an option called catalog. Once you click on the catalog, yeah, in this catalog you'll be able to see all the different databases that are already preloaded with your Databricks accounts. So under the samples database, when I click on expanding the samples, you can see we have the weather related information, we have health related information, we have taxi related database, and we have the TPCH database as well, which we'll be using for our demo purpose. So here in this dataset we have the customer, nations, orders, region, etc. All this information available. You can get more information regarding what is the content inside this table just by clicking on that. So I've clicked on the customer table. So you can see what are the different columns that exist. For example, this customer table has a cust key, name, address, nation key, phone number, account balance, market segment, and comments. You can also get a look at the sample data as well. Once you click on the sample data, here you will be able to see what are the different types of information that are available under the cust key, name, address, and all the other different fields. Similarly, you will be able to get the information regarding other tables as well. For example, if I click on the nations table, here the nations table has a nation key, name, region key, and comment. Similarly, sample data. Yeah. So for example, you can see under the name we have Algeria, Argentina, Brazil, Canada, along with the region keys. So this is the brief description of the dataset that we will be using, and this has already come as preloaded with your Databricks account. So now moving on to the Genie. So here in the same under the same menu that was there on the left hand side, under the SQL you have something, a Genie tab. Once you click on it, at the top right you have an option of new. Select that. Yeah. So here you have a search option. So just search for the dataset that we'll be using. For example, ours was TPCH. So it will give you all the different tables that are available, and just select all the tables that are mentioned. Yeah, so we had 8 tables and I've selected all the 8 tables. Next, click on create. So it created a UI for us, where you can see there is a chat option where you can ask your question. On the right hand side, you can see what are the different tables that we have selected, all the 8 different tables that we have selected. Here, now let's start with a very basic question. For example, I'm asking show me the first 10 rows of the orders table. And I've pressed enter after typing the question. So currently Genie is thinking, it is generating the SQL query, identifying all the different tables and metadata that it can use. Yeah. So here if I click on show code, this is the SQL query that was generated. Basically a select star from samples TPCH order limit to 10. As you can see, Genie automatically created the SQL, ran it and displayed the results. We can see columns like the order key, cust key, order status, the total price. This helps us get a feel for the dataset before asking business questions. Now let's ask, like, we can explore the database as well. Like for example, show me all the tables available in the TPCH dataset. So it gave me all the different tables that we have selected and are available under the TPCH database. For example, the customer, nation, region, orders, line item, supplier, and all the tables, basically 8 tables. We can also ask basically like what columns are available in the customer table. So it is determining the relevant context, thinking, and these are all the columns that were available in the customer table along with the data types. For example, customer key, name, address, and what is their data type. For example, address is a string, cust key is an integer, and all this information. So this is how you can explore the data set more. Now let's ask a slightly more complex question about customers and orders. So I have given the prompt, which customer placed the highest number of orders? So it is determining relevant context, thinking. So when you click on show code, here you can see Genie automatically figured out the relationships between the orders and the customer table. It joined them using the customer key, grouped them using the customer name, and counted the number of orders. That's pretty powerful. Normally you would have to write and join a query manually. Yeah. So these were the customers and their order counts who have placed the most number of orders. This is the, and it also generated a chart along with the count of customer. For example, this customer generated 43 orders. So it is giving us a chart as well, a visualization as well. Now let's ask some different types of different variety of questions. For example, I'm asking show me the top 10 customers by the total spend. Instead of the number of orders, I'm asking by the total spend. So here you can see it gave you the different customer key, the customer name, and the total spends as well, along with a bar chart as well, highlighting the different spends. Now let's ask which customer has the earliest order date. So it is also summarizing what it's understanding. Basically, it's saying the user wants to find the customer who placed the earliest order date, identify the earliest order date among all the customers. It's showing which tables it is using. For example, customers table and the orders tables as well. So here you can see it identified the earliest order date, which was in 1992, along with the customer name and the customer key as well. Now let's analyze revenue at a regional level. This will test Genie's ability to join multiple tables. So now I'm asking what is the total revenue by region. So here you can see it is using the table, regions table. It is joining it with the nation. It is joining it with the customers and with the orders. So it understood the relationships automatically. It knows that region links to nation, nation links to customers, and customer links to the orders, and orders to line items. That basically 5 table join done automatically. So here these are the different regions, the total revenues across the region, and you also have the bar chart. You can also change the different types of charts by clicking on this edit option that is available here. For example, your current default visualization is bar. If I select, we can get a line chart as well. Here now see that the bar chart has been automatically converted into a line chart. You can also get a pie chart for the same. Here you can customize the different colors and everything. You can add a tooltip, you can remove a tooltip, you can add labels, you can remove labels. So there are a lot of customization options that are available for the charts as well. So this is a default chart that is being generated by Databricks Genie. But for example, if you ask a question which already mentions a type of chart you want, for example, now I'm asking a create a bar chart of total revenue by region. So in this case, it is only giving me the final chart. So what exactly it does is in one step, Genie not only wrote the SQL, but also turned that result into a clean bar chart. This is a really useful for business users who don't want to switch between SQL and BI tools. Similarly, you can also create a pie chart and all those different types of chart. For example, I'm just saying, show me a pie chart of total orders by region. Yeah. So it gave you the pie chart across all the different regions and the total orders as a percentage. Another common business question is understanding revenue trends over a time. So for example, if I ask a question, yeah. So for example, if I ask, show me yearly revenue growths by region. So it says the user wants to see the yearly growth percentage for each region compared to the total revenue from one year to the previous year. So for example, it gave the different regions what was the years and what was the growth rate. So the initial year, starting year was 1992. So for the growth rate, it didn't consider the 1992 since it will be invalid. So it started from 1993 and it compared the growth rate with 1992 and calculated and shown the growth rate accordingly. So finally, let's see how Genie helps with query explainability. Suppose I paste a SQL query that I don't fully understand. For example, this is the query that I am pasting. Basically, I'm just saying explain the SQL query in plain English. Now Genie breaks it down step by step. For example, this SQL query retrieves the name of the customers and the total extended price of their orders. It joins the customers' orders and line item tables to aggregate the extended price for each customer. The results are grouped by customer name, ordered by the total extended price in the descending order, and limited to the top 5 customers. So this is incredibly useful for learners, analysts, or even teams reviewing complex queries. Genie explains each join and aggregation in simple words. As you can see, Genie makes analyzing even a complex datasets like the TPCH much easier. We went from exploring raw tables to customer insights, revenue by regions, visualizations, time trends, and even query explainability, all in natural language. And remember, the real power here comes from the Unity Catalog. It provides Genie with metadata about what tables exist, how they are related, and which columns are sensitive. Without that, Genie wouldn't be nearly as smart. To summarize, Databricks is a unified data and AI platform. Unity Catalog gives you a centralized governance and metadata, making collaboration secure. And Genie adds a conversational analytics so you can get insights just by asking questions. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like, share it with your team, and subscribe for more content on data and AI. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.